One of the surest ways to maintain a thick, healthy lawn is to reseed routinely, at least once, maybe even twice a year, depending on the type of turf you're growing. And for over 30 years, long before I became a TV gardener, I've used Pennington grass seed because I get consistent results. But you can't just toss the seed out and hope for the best. So here are the steps you need to take to ensure success. First, mow the lawn, cutting it at least 1 notch lower than usual. You don't actually need to scalp it, but you should cut it low enough that sunlight can reach the soil surface. Next, tidy up a bit, removing as much debris as possible, whether sticks, leaves, or thatch. A leaf rake will get most of the stuff, but if you've got a thick layer of thatch, you might want to use a steel garden rake or even a special thatch rake like this baby. If you've got visible bare spots, loosen them up a bit using a steel garden rake so the seed doesn't wash right off the soil surface when you water or when it rains. There are several ways to sow seed. In a really small lawn, you might be able to get away with simply broadcasting the seed by hand, as though you're feeding chickens. Or you could opt for one of these little handheld broadcast spreaders. They work really well. But for larger lawns, one like mine, I prefer a broadcast spreader because it enables me to cover a whole lot of ground in as little time as possible. After filling the hopper with seed, I adjust the setting to make sure I'm applying the seed at the recommended rate. Keep in mind that not all spreaders are alike, so it's a good idea to check the label on the seed package for the proper setting for whatever spreader you're using. And realize too that the application rate for seeding a new lawn is twice that of the application rate for reseeding an established lawn. The goal in seeding or reseeding is to get even coverage. And I think the best way to do that is to work back and forth in one direction, say north and south, then again working east and west. But in the process, make sure you don't get any seed where you don't want it, such as flower beds or veggie gardens. Some spreaders have a gizmo on one side, like this one, that prevents seed from being broadcast out that side, and these come in mighty handy. If the spreader you're using doesn't have one, then just pay close attention to where that seed is going. Trust me, folks, the time it takes to do this properly is a fraction of what it takes to dig all the grass out of your nearby beds. Besides, even if you don't get the seed right up to the edge of borders or established beds, you can always go back and sprinkle some seed by hand along those areas, which is exactly what I do. Once you've got your seed spread evenly, you can go ahead and apply a starter fertilizer, or you can wait a few weeks until the grass is up and growing. That's up to you. Whatever you do, however, don't apply a pre-emergent herbicide, whether labeled as a crabgrass preventer or a combination weed and feed product, because they'll prevent your grass seed from germinating as well. Besides, the most important consideration at this point is watering, and basically you want the seed and the top ½ inch or so of soil to remain moist until the seed germinates, which means you'll need to water every day for at least a week or two, unless of course it rains. Once your grass is up and growing, you'll want to change your watering schedule and begin mowing. And I've covered both topics in a separate video called Caring for Your New Lawn, which is available now here at PenningtonSeed.com.